Said Benrahma is one of the most polarising players since Sebastian Haller, which isn't really saying a lot, but certainly in a West Ham time frame. That is, I mean, Benrahma come in from Brentford last summer with a lot of high expectations of him. We thought we were getting a player with great technical ability, quality on the ball, could influence things. And I do believe he can do all of those things, by the way. I think he can become a success at West Ham, but there are certainly elements of his game that he does need to adapt. I wouldn't say necessarily say change, because I do believe he can suit the way that we play, but I think there has to be a mentality shift, and I think he also has to adapt to the league slightly better. The biggest criticism of Benrahma is his end product. The stats show that in terms of live passes in the final third, even ball carries, things like that, things that we associate with a Jesse Lingard or even a Jarrod Bowen, he has that in his game. He really, really does. Per 90, that is something that exists. So therefore, you believe that you could get something out of him a little bit more than what we're seeing at the minute. But it is on the eye test, those final touches. It is having too many touches. It is every time you're getting into the final third, eyeing up a player before making a cross or the right pass. That is what frustrates the life out of West Ham fans. And for me, it's a simple thing to rectify, but it does come down to a lot in terms of mentality. So Said Benrahma's come from a Brentford side where they're essentially playing into his strengths. There's a lot of fluid football. He's getting on the ball a lot. The Championship gives you a lot more touches. I watched a clip of a Championship game the other day with Said Benrahma in. The amount of time and space that he has on the ball to pick his head up and make a shot or a pass means that he's demonstrating a little bit more effectiveness in the final third. In the Premier League, you simply don't get that. And we saw that a lot against Chelsea, and we've seen it in the past couple of games. And every time he's getting into that final third, he's rushing things, he's taking too many touches, and there's a breakdown in play. Now, one of the biggest criticisms of Said Benrahma is he's not getting enough goals. He's not taking shots on target, things like that. The irony is I'm not really that interested in Benrahma's goals, into a degree, not necessarily even his assists, although I do believe it is important. And there's a £25 million price tag. He should be able to influence games a lot more than he currently is. My problem with him at times is when he's taking too many touches and he's losing the ball in a transition. It's slowing us up. He's making the wrong decision. We can't involve other players. There isn't that fluency of movement. I think we've seen it on occasion with him and Jesse Lingard, and there is definitely something to work on there, but we have seen it far and few between. And particularly when he's coming on in the stages of games that he's coming on at the minute, last 20 minutes, he's not keeping the ball. That's all I think West Ham want. I think that's all that Moyes wants from him. Not necessarily a worldy goal, a 25-yard screamer, not necessarily a bit of skill, although that is part of his game. Keeping the ball and making the right decision. And I think he gets a lot more credit in the bank with those type of movements than he does it currently at the minute. And people level the idea that because Said Benrahma isn't necessarily lightning quick or he isn't direct means that he can't adapt to this West Ham side. I don't subscribe to that idea. I think that he's got elements of passing. I think he's got vision. I think he's got technical quality to link the play better. Can he be a focal point in the West Ham side where we've almost got a false nine and inside forwards at the minute? Possibly not. Maybe that doesn't suit him. But I do think that when he's getting the ball in that final third, he just has to use his attributes correctly. He just has to make the simple pass. He just has to open up play a little bit more. And then I think this idea about goals and assists sort of fades away a little bit because West Ham are an incredibly functional side. And I don't believe that Benrahma, with the passing quality and the vision that he has, that he can't contribute more to that. But the problem is he's so used to eyeing up a player and trying to make something happen and influencing things a little bit too much that we're losing from that as a side. And that's why I believe that Moyes doesn't trust him. And that's why I believe that he gets the criticism that he does. And I think that to an extent, that's fair. But I'm not looking at Said Benrahma as a player that we can necessarily dispense of, we can get rid of. I think actually he can influence things a lot more. I think he can be part of this transitional side. Who's the blame on? Who's the blame on? Is it Moyes? The reason why I don't think it can be on Moyes is because the team is performing much better than an individual at the minute. And I would much rather West Ham were performing effectively than trying to cater too much for Said Benrahma and his style of play. So I think there is part of it that comes down to Said Benrahma, but I don't think you can't recover it. I really don't. I just think he needs, again, a change in mentality is probably a bit too vague. But an understanding. And I think we've seen that a little bit with Fornals in this past season. Yes, he's missed sitters, but he's getting himself in the right positions. He's working hard off the ball. I think in the past month or so, Fornals' passing has been a lot crisper. He's been making those right choices. So I'm not saying that it's not going to happen with Said Benrahma, but he does need to seriously start to do that. And again, I've been a huge supporter of Benrahma for a long time since he's come into the club, because I like those type of players, but he just has to make that difference in his game. And even with that simplicity, I think West Ham can benefit as a side, and I think he can even get more game time. And I think when Said Benrahma gets more game time, naturally he will improve. So that's my opinion on it. That's what I think Said Benrahma needs to change within his game in order to be a success at West Ham. Of course, I know that it's a divisive comment. Some people are really huge Benrahma fans, and other people don't see the point in him or think he's overrated. So let me know in the comment section what you think about Said Benrahma. There is no right or wrong answer. I just want to gauge opinion on this, because he's the next polarising figure alongside Sebastian Haller. If you did like this video and you did enjoy my opinion on it, do like it. If you are new to the West Ham way, subscribe. If you're a regular, again, like it or even dislike it. No problem there whatsoever. A lot more content coming out this week regarding pre-match stuff. Me and Dan are out tomorrow, depending on when this video comes out. You get your watch along on Monday and your what to expect from Burnley, where I'll go and try and break down Burnley's general style of play, key figures, etc., as well as, of course, my team that I would like to see against Burnley. 5 cup finals left. Come on, you wines. Let's keep positive. And until next time, everybody, take care.